Danganronpa.
Yo! You know? Actually, you know? For serious. F you! What? Hey, come on!
Hey,
How about that?
that's right! No way! Oh,
F you!
Wrong. Well, however. Without a doubt.
F you!
Damnation!
For serious?
Wrong.
Huh?
So...
What?
Indeed.
But...
So that's it. Interesting.
That's terrible!
What?
Gee, what?
Damn it!
So, at the very least. Yes, indeed.
I see.
Damn it!
I swear,
As such, soon the door. Okay then.
There is nothing to be done. Calm down. This is fine.
Sometimes, the murders that people forgive.
Good morning, everyone. Get ready to greet.
However,
I mean...
It can't be. It would seem...
I've prepared. What do you think? It's like...
Hey, hey,
Okay,
anyway,
but...
well then.
Please! Okay.
But...
But
As for me,
I see.
indeed.
What?
Indeed. Actually,
I see.
just a second.
let's see.
I see. This is bad.
What?
What? What are you saying? You've gotta be kidding!
Stop talking. What? That's fine.
Okay.
Oh,
Perhaps.
Okay.
What? What?
indeed.
What the hell am I looking at? It can't be!
Damn.
Well,
Hey.
What?
Are you okay with?
yeah.
So then,
Well then.
yes, indeed.
So, in other words... What? Very strange. So that's it. In other words... What?
Hey.
Okay.
Well then.
What to do? What?
What?
Well.
Oh, just a second. So that... What are you saying? Everyone. Just a second.
What?
Huh?
What? It's all clear now.
So then...
So then.
Just a second. No! What the... No!
A body has been after a certain amount.
Are you okay with this?
However,
What? What?
what? Hey!
I see.
Dead.
Oh! Indeed.
What did you say? Come on.
What? Hey!
Indeed.
What did... Why?
Huh?
Hina.
No way! No!
Hina. Damn.
Mouse!
Damn.
This is...
Huh?
Stop talking.
Huh?
Not possible.
Huh? Well, it is so.
That's fine.
Let's see.
That's right.
Let's see.
Perhaps.
In other words, what?
So then, but, cause I mean,
Hina.
huh?
Damn.
Come on.
Indeed.
Goodbye.
A body has been after a certain amount of...
It's the What?
Stop talking.
Punishment is waiting. See ya.
What the heck? That's terrible! Who would... Why? Why?
He's alive again? Where? Cold. So...
Hifumi! Wake up!
Huh? That's right. I remember now. Hope's Peak.
Come on, you gotta wake up!
I remember. Before I met you, I met... It's... like...
Hey, Hifumi! Who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Who killed? That's right. I remember. Their name... Yasu...
Honestly.
Stop.
Then perhaps...
So in other...
What is this?
That's fine.
Indeed.
Very strange.
Well. Perhaps.
Monokuma a pig! Yep.
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become...
So you ask, each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to grab.
So in other words, two people...
Then there's no way...
In other words...
So then.
Hey, Phew.
So in other words...
Well... Extreme! Well now.
However.
Indeed. So, What? You SOB! Huh? You've gotta be kidding! What the heck? What?
see.
So then,
It's all clear now.
So then. However,
So in other words, What? What? I see. That's enough. Goodbye.
Let's see. Yes, indeed. Indeed? Yes, indeed. Indeed. What?
It's all clear now. Goodbye.
Just a second. Okay.
I mean... Huh? Oh, hey... Huh?
Right.
Don't be mean!
What? Wow. It's nothing. Hey. And?
I mean... Huh? Let me out of here! Got it all wrong!
It would seem...
So then... Honestly... Is that okay? Could it be... That's terrible! Just the worst.
That's right.
What the heck?
Please!
What are you saying?
What the heck?
Okay. Huh. See? Look. See how loose it is? I mean, come on. I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got...
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's not a very nice thing. I mean, it's not like I made...
Well, either way. Now we know... I mean, it seems pretty clear that nobody but Hero could have fit into this dumb costume. Just a second.
But...
Honestly.
what the heck?
Just the worst. That's terrible.
What?
Oh. Then perhaps... What the heck?
What the heck? What?
Just the worst.
Please! Huh? How about that?
So then,
I'm at least 30% right!
correct.
Please!
What the heck?
Oh! Hey!
Just the worst.
So,
Don't be mean!
Just a second.
No way! Please!
What the heck? Just the worst.
Please!
What are you saying?
What?
Makoto. It would seem... Why... Anyway, shall we go? Hey. Correct. Hey. Anyway. So then, I knew it. I see. Hey. Whew. So then... That's right. In other words... However... Makoto. Because... Hey. Is that right? So then... Indeed. That's right. Indeed. Why is that? Hey. So... However... Is that right? So... Hey. So then... Hey. Is that right?
Are you excited? Are you like the bright burst of fireworks? Like the... And so, everyone, please meet at the U. Make your way to the red door on the first...
It would seem... Shall we go?
Hey!
Stop talking.
Okay. Hey! Hey!
Let's go.
Please!
What the heck?
What the heck?
Hey,
That's right.
Just the what?
What?
Come on.
Yoo-hoo! Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep!
Shut your murdering mouth!
Who are you calling a murder?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but blueprint for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. It points to you as having created the suit.
How many times do I have to I don't know! I don't know!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
No, it's wrong. Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look. It's the note that Hiro wrote. Asking the handwriting's obviously different when you compare it to the blueprint.
There's no way you could think the same.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that,
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's in a... What?
Then who was in that robo-justice? Is it like Hiro said?
The suspicious individual hidden with... Go ahead, Makoto.
So? Who was...
Shoot! I got it! Other than Hiro, obviously he was the one in that
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro...
That doesn't make any sense!
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're...
That's right. The culprit in this...
What? Now that's a bold assumption! And what reason do you have to make such a statement?
Of course. There's something else we need to clarify.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it?
We must clarify the method of It would seem that his corpse was Makoto.
I got it! I got it! They were so Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room.
And when we found it for the second time, it was the same tarp that up. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it that way. They wouldn't leave any.
Okay, that explains the
same. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first. But when the body. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository. So did the dolly.
In other words, you think, but are you sure you are not mistaken? Huh? Are you absolutely positive that that dolly was made specifically for movie? It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made it. Is it not possible that if
She's raised an objection.
there is no shame in being wrong? Nobody expects much. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
This should prove it. If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, when I found the dolly in the repository, there was a pool of blood in the equipment room. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident, and as the blood dried on the tire. So there's my proof that...
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. What kind of robot?
I'm not sure.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant, if you look back on how the body was As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong! You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that? What do you think back to what you said when we were all when you're in that suit, not only can you not, am I right?
Now that you mention
It seems like it'd be awfully hard.
well, what's to stop you from seeing?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible!
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the...
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off?
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was...
True. It seemed
Then,
Of course I was.
He could have gotten it off by himself. Showing up in the suit was basically...
Yeah, that's right.
so, it's...
to be clear, whoever did move the body, it could.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten? You all got a good look at it, did you not? If whoever was in that suit is not... Besides, do you remember... So long as those facts exist, the individual inside the suit, and the cult... Yeah.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to... Besides, there's no hurry before we rush to a verdict. Instead of seizing on one viewpoint,
Perhaps.
let's review this series of unfortunate events.
I don't disagree, but our lives.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko...
Alright then. I suppose with 4 of us gathered together in the diner, we waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8.
And as soon as we split up...
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being
That was when we saw Celeste's picture, and as it turns out, it also soon became clear that this same robot... We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then he was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office, but not long after...
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search this, and soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as...
And then... that point, we decided Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse, while Sakura, Byakuya... When we got back to the nurse, and that's when we heard the body. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the...
Meanwhile, we must have found both bodies because we heard the same announcement.
And that's when then the three of us headed for the... But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko back. But when we got there, we discovered next thing we knew, we were searching the school for two, and after some...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we...
I think that about...
I see. The whole thing sounds it certainly seems to me that these are not a simple...
Okay, well...
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the Now then, let's get started. So... Regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps... it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to...
So you're saying the culprit wanted, but in reality... Okay then, let's see...
I refuse to give up yet! Understand? I got it!
It must have gotten broken when he... So if it wasn't broken up...
And that would be...
But if that's true...
And before Celeste was attacked this morning.
That's right. Taka was killed.
That simple fact, we made the wrong assumption about the...
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers all that way. When we saw how they were used in each incident, we...
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the... But all of our alibis still hold true for...
That's right. When we heard Hifumi screaming, then we all ran down to the nurse's office. That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on it.
If that's true,
I don't know.
don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock solid out since all of us were there together.
And it does not stop there. There was when his body vanished, Fakina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room. And then there's the disappearance. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because... Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, in particular, I think we need to figure out...
That's true. We searched and according to what's... His body apparently disappeared, but to carry that much weight from the first... First floor?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved?
No!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. We thought Hifumi was dead.
It was...
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't killed?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That... it isn't possible.
Are you saying... And when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that...
How? Surely you heard the body discovery announcement, along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong! Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also this...
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we made him... I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the...
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if...
No, actually... He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice. I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we... It didn't seem weird at the time.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement should...
When the 2 dead bodies were being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi's meaning, he wasn't actually found...
And that's just part... There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive.
Oh, because he was super good at playing dead!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he...
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless. Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. It was a glasses cleaning cloth. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe it, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one. And whose digital camera was it?
The character was...
I highly doubt anyone but he...
I see your point. And the only...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was...
Even if that is true.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than...
That's a good point.
And it must have been him.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still... He pretends to be dead. Then he stands up and walks out on it. And with that, the impossible task of moving his... But then,
if you... What was with all that blood?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used...
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. Somebody got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance, it should be perfectly obvious who...
Shoot! I got it! It could only have been...
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office,
That also explains how the door to the...
The door was... Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them. So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the...
and it could only have been Hifumi, who'd just finished stashing...
He convinced us all he was dead. And when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Shoot! I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you? That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In pants?
Yeah. Okay, well, forget about it.
That's the note I was telling you about. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. Monokuma can't find out, so...
See, then this note isn't the same one Hiro...
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, so whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok. They were drawing out
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huck.
Oh! Yes! Hucky had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Hucky!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely...
Well, when you put no further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just... the culprit really is a cold-blooded
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi stuffed down his pants?
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Where's your proof? Go.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripped. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped there's only one...
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his leaving behind. Oh, did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa, yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved. In fact, he was behind the whole thing! In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, the second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished. But before we...
During that time, we'd all split up and work. In other words, during that time, none of us have Alpha.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid wolf! Who are you calling a wolf?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me, too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi!
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, According to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room. So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were all...
So the question is, how could the cult... Personally, So which hammer was used to attack...
Those were accounted for in other rooms too.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same...
So then... What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Shoot! What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
No, it's wrong! The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of... But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small, and even some flat. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wound.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used...
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was... Hold on a moment. I still think it's the way the graduation rule works. There is no benefit to help, so the idea that anyone would work together... Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true.
No, it's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's, however, if there were some potential mutual reward for the...
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two...
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi, they made him carry out the first...
So in this case, there wasn't one. Instead, each person killed someone. And it only looked like one person because that's how the truth... A single suspicious individual... A similar, by creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it...
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply, which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi...
That's just...
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was...
That's problem numero uno right now!
Shoot! Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now. I really do.
A joke?
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him... That I would go within 10 feet of that shit brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardon-moi.
Just to be clear, there is.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual, and the only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and he...
Shush! The adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costume. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said.
Are you saying everything that...
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual. And not too long after that... we headed to the second floor. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor.
She let out a blood-curdling...
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong... Once she'd done her job of getting, it was time for her part.
It was to get us to divide into two groups.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who... Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were... And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi. It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor. Everything's go. Why else would you let out a scream that could have...
I just realized that when we found Hifumi in the nurse's office... Celeste, you wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any...
I don't believe it!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets... Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when looking back. I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the... Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us heading out. The entire time we were together, none of us said anything. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make...
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those...
Milton's wrong! That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, when she said that, none of...
Exactly. And we didn't run into her, and so there was never any chance for her to have...
So how did you know? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared.
You all have such vivid...
Imagine.
You claim that I was lying when I... Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain?
It has to be some kind of setup, so let's put the suit on. And then...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other...
No, there is no...
It's not a picture of the suspect. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the stick.
That's certainly within the realm of... The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit we've simply been led to believe. And the strange costume, if you saw someone wearing something like that in this...
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away, is it?
I don't think...
Then shut your mouth and...
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, There's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Shoot!
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, it's wrong. No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
That's right! They totally...
I'm not so I think the suit was designed from the beginning.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit, that's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever...
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little... Have you already forgotten? When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was what he said. In other words,
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's...
Your confusing statements don't make it...
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure?
What the hell are you talking?
Kyoko.
Think back to how did he refer to each of us?
Shoot!
Think back to how did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last...
Exactly. I know I heard it. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name...
I'm sure it was just indecent.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that... No. There's no reason to think he would have said but he must have run out of energy before...
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever...
But the name he said doesn't apply.
Well, no. And that's Celeste.
What? To think you'd take your false... Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well? What?
Okay, then Phil...
Make sure my real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please...
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name Please? Celestial Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestial Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestial Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestial Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestial Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestial Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not just pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
No, it's wrong. That's it.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, Monokuma told us... So all we have to do is... That's how we can find out... Celeste, can you please just tell us, please?
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me go over the case again, and that'll bring everything to an end. Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded Hifumi with an accomplice. The killer... First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room. That someone they met with the murderous duo intended to pass hero. They drugged him, knocked him out. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look while the killer used a digital camera to take. They did all this just to create evidence. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6, they called Taka to the... And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment. The reason Hammer number 4 was used... So, next for these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack there. The killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1. They wanted to make sure we bought them. The second fake incident was this time, they planted Justice Hammer. With these two incidents, the killers were able to create us that the suspect was increasing the size of. We fell right into their trap and started. While we did that, this was exact. Took a blood packet and turned the room into a crime scene. He let out a scream to draw us back. Meanwhile, the other group so when we heard the body, we left the nurse's office. He simply got up. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know. Their plan all along was to, and they did it using an ordinance. That should cover everything that happened. Celeste!
I lost? When was the last time? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the if you would, please. And when the votes are, will you make the right choice? Ta-da!
Honestly.
I knew it. So then,
Indeed.
Say what?
just a second. In other words,
Indeed.
I see.
Actually,
What?
are you okay with this? So then,
Damn it! Say what?
as for me,
Oh.
as for me,
What? Damnation! Say what? Leah?
most unfortunate. Actually,
What?
indeed. Honestly,
I swear!
actually,
I see.
indeed.
But
Let's see.
Well,
Are you?
so in the end,
What the heck? Well,
don't be mean!
I wonder about that.
Why?
What the heck?
But
You little bitch! Hey! You little bitch! This is fine. Honestly. As for me, isn't it wonderful? This is fine. There is nothing to be done. Just the worst. Oh. Do you understand? What is this? Yes, indeed. Isn't it wonderful?
Hey.
Chills! Now then, I've prepared a let's give it.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say. Which is why, actually. Well then, perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
What are you gonna do?
Let me out of here!
Too bad. How strange. Hey! Hey! Wah-wah?
So then, you...
Ooh!
Hey,
Ooh! How Hello. Well? See?
so...
Hey,
Indeed. Hey,
What?
so...
Come on. What? Goodbye.
well then.
Yo!
Okay.
Shall we go? So then,
You really think?
however... What? Indeed. What? It's true. That's fine. Correct. Correct.
Hey, you! What did... I asked you a question! What's the... How did... This wasn't...
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
But you do realize you haven't worked what I'm holding hostage?
Indeed.
I see.
It's true.
You got it!
You know? We're serious.
Well...
According to the
However,
how about that? It's not like some occult mystery. The occult is bullcrap.
So,
You got it all wrong.
So...
Actually... But... the end is nigh! Some crazy beam came out of nowhere, and as soon as the beam... and still floating there. One part of it just... Do you really... It means something like 70%... You can't trick me. How about that? Don't be...
yeah!
of course.
Indeed.
Well,
But... Danganronpa.